Shalom, shalom, Israel, shalom. It's your brother Joshua back with another quick coffee break and a quick exhortation for the brothers and sisters in the truth. First and foremost, I'm going to give all honor and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahushai. Right? And I just want to come with a quick exhortation, and this is mainly for the newbies in the truth. Those that are recently come in and found out that they are Israelites, man. Right? And decided to leave this world behind and come serve the Lord. This is for you brothers and you sisters, right? And I believe I titled this, Don't Be Ashamed of This Truth, right? And what I mean by that is, it's a lot that comes with this walk. It's going to be a lot of, being disconnected from friends, from family. You're going to gain enemies, haters. You might lose a job. You might lose a loved one. Your significant other. Your children might hate you for this thing or whatever it is. But the Lord wants you to never be ashamed of this truth, right? And preaching this gospel, man, right? Don't ever be ashamed of the Lord, because the Lord told you what? Hey, if you deny him in front of men, he's going to deny you before the Father. So you don't want to put yourself in that position. You want to always be fervent and rooted in this truth and know what it is and count the cost of what it means to serve the Most High, man. Right? And I'm going to start off real quick with the classic. Right? Let's get this in the book of Matthew. Right? In the book of Matthew chapter 10. Okay. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10. And I'm going to start at verse number 32, and it reads, matter of fact, I'm going to start at 32, and it says, Whosoever therefore shall confess me before men, him will I confess also before my Father which is in heaven. But whosoever shall deny me before men, him will I also deny before my Father which is in heaven. Right? So you got to understand that you have to be rooted and understand that the Lord is watching you, and he's really wanting to see if you're really about this truth. And things are going to happen. You're going to lose family members. You're going to lose friends, all the above. But you have to be rooted and grounded in this truth and believe, absolutely believe in this walk, man. And be willing to give everything up if need be to follow after Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, man. Right? Reading on a little more, it says, Think not that I have come to send peace on earth. I come not to send peace but a sword. So the Lord is coming to send division among family members, among friends and things of that nature, man. Everybody's not going to make it. The Lord said this world right here is for many, but the next to come is for few. And everybody's not going to make it. Right? He's only going to take a few from a city, here and there, man. So you got to understand that you may be the only one that's going to make it in your family. Right? You never know what the Lord is going to do, but you have to be steadfast and rooted and grounded in what you truly believe. Right? And I'm going to jump down. And it says, I'm going to read this. And it says, verse 38, And he that taketh not his cross and falleth after me is not worthy of me. So if you don't take on these obstacles, these stumbling blocks that come in the way, the things that are going to be thrown in your path when you're trying to serve the Lord, you're not going to be worthy of it. And it says, And he that findeth his life shall lose it. And he that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. Meaning, if you lose your life, if you're willing to give up everything in this world, man, every carnal aspect of this life, man, right, and follow the Lord wholeheartedly, then you're going to gain life, man, life eternal, right? You're going to gain the kingdom of heaven. And the Lord may bless you on the way to the kingdom and give you what you need on this side, right? If you stay steadfast and unmovable. But if you try to find your life in this world, if you go back into the world, and you start to get back into that mode of living because you couldn't walk and finish this thing, then hey, the Lord said you're gonna lose your life, man. The Lord said, look, which man beginning to build and did not count the cost? Right? You'll begin to be scorned and laughed of your enemies, paraphrasing. So this is for you new, brothers and sisters coming into this truth. You have to understand that this walk is not easy, man. But you should never be ashamed of this truth. You should love walking after the Lord and everything that comes with it. Right? Let's get this precept real quick in the book of Romans. Right, this is the book of Romans, chapter 1, and I'm going to start at verse number 15, and it reads, so as much as in me is, I am ready to preach the gospel to you that are in Rome also. For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahushua, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation to every one that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek. So you shouldn't be ashamed, right, to teach and preach this word, man. If you're ever able to get on that level, man, right? You learn, you get built up, and it's your turn to go out on the highways and hedges, or it's the turn to go and talk to your friends or your family about this truth. Don't ever be ashamed of the gospel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Don't let your family talk down to you. Don't let them disrespect you, right? Don't let them tell you this is not the truth. Because there's a lot of, your family members and those in the world that are not going to believe. But those things do not deter the things that the Lord promised from happening, man. Right, let's get that in chapter 3 of Romans real quick. Right, this is the book of Romans chapter 3 and verse 3. It says, for what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh without effect? Yahweh forbid. Yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar. As it is written, thou mayest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So you got to understand these things, that it doesn't matter if nobody believes you. If your mother don't believe you, your father, your sister, your brother, whatever it is. The Lord said, let the Most High be true and every man a liar. Everything that they come against you with don't make the promises of the Lord not to take effect, man. So you have to stand 10 toes down at what you believe. Because the Lord told you that there's going to be scoffers, man. There's going to be scoffers, man. And you have to prepare yourself for those things. Right, let's get the book of, 2 Peter, I believe. All right, let's get 2 Peter real quick. All right, this is the book of 2 Peter, chapter 3 and verse number 3. And it reads, matter of fact, I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, this second epistle, beloved, I now write unto you in both which I stir up your pure minds by the way of remembrance, that ye may be mindful of the words which were spoken before by the holy prophets, and the commandments of us, and the commandment of us, the apostles, and of the Lord and Savior, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days scoffers, walking after their own lusts, man. Right? Reading on, it says, and saying, where is the promise of his coming? For since the fathers fell asleep, all things continue as they were from the beginning of the creation. So the Lord told you, in the last days, there's going to be scoffers in the world, man. Especially those of your own blood, of your own household, scoffing against you, man. Talking, bringing up false accusations, man. Saying your doctrine is a lie, it's a heresy, things of that nature, man. Wicked. And it says, and they're going to be saying things like, where's the promise of your coming? Like, well, you've been saying that Christ was coming back for a long time. He ain't here yet, right? Why is all this stuff still happening and Christ ain't came back? You have to prepare yourself for these things, man. To be talked down on, disrespected, shun away. You might not be able to go to the family functions anymore. You might not get to go to your favorite auntie's house, man, because they disown you. Go hang out with your favorite cousins, man, because they talking behind your back. They don't want to be around you anymore, right? These things are going to happen, man. And you have to prepare yourself for these things always. Like the classic in Sirach, it says, if you come to serve the Lord, prepare your soul for temptation. These things are going to tempt you to go back into the world. To say, you know what, I give up on this. This is not for me. Hey, I can't handle it. Everybody's disowning me. Everybody's talking about me behind my back. They're leaving me. I'm so alone. I'm depressed. Things of that nature, man. Well, just understand this. If you lose your fans and family in the world, guess what? You will gain brothers and sisters in this truth, man. I don't know how many countless brothers I've met over the years I've been in this truth, man, that are thicker than blood, right? I can call them up at any moment, man, and just talk to them, right? Just spill the beans, just be there, man. Some brothers might get up and come travel and come see a brother, man. Brothers are always there to be their brother's keeper, man. And you have to know that coming into this truth. That's how it's supposed to be, and that's the way the Most High wanted it to be. But you're going to have those scoffers in the world. But understand, if they do these things, that means you're on the right track. That means the Lord has given you an opportunity to actually see what it means to follow Him in the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. It's actually a blessing to be talked down on, to be disrespected, man, for the name of the Lord, man. Right, check this out. This Matthew chapter 5 real quick. Right? It's the book of Matthew chapter 5. And I'm going to start at verse number 10. And it reads, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. So the Lord said you're blessed for those things, man. For the kingdom of heaven is yours, man. If you stick to it, if you stay rooted, grounded, and you believe, man, and can't nobody shake you, guess what? The kingdom of heaven is for you. You got to truly believe these things, man. Right? Because, hey, one that walked in this truth for X amount of years, a brother or sister's been in this truth, don't be afraid to ask questions. How did you endure? How are you continuing to walk after the Lord? Things of that nature, man. The Lord, hey, brothers and sisters will tell you, man. Brothers and sisters will tell you how these things happen, man. Right, let me get this precept real quick. If it come to my mind, it just escaped my mind. Let me see real quick. Salakia. I think it's Sirach chapter 6 and verse number and 36 and 30. I'll start at 32. That's what and this is Sirach chapter 6 and verse 32, and it says, my son, if thou wilt, thou shalt be taught, and if thou wilt apply thy mind, thou shalt be prudent. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding. And if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. So, if you're willing to learn and understand how to keep walking and enduring in this truth, man, you go to the elders, man. Go to those that have walked before you and that's still enduring. And really, study the things that they're giving you, the precepts, the understanding, the wisdom that's been passed down. You have to get into those things and be taught. That's why he said if you're willing to be taught and apply these things, you will become prudent, meaning you will become more wise in understanding and know how to navigate in a dark world, man, with the light that you possess with these scriptures, man, and how to be able to, combat those evil spirits that try to come against you that's in the form of your family and things of that nature, right? And it says, reading on, starting at 33 again, it says, and if thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of elders, and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. So that means, hey, look, don't ever be ashamed to ask questions, man. You know, stand before the elders and ask questions. How have you endured this long? There's elders still in this truth that have been in there since the early 90s, man. Standing 10 toes down, right? Hey, and it's a beautiful thing, because if you receive the wisdom and you apply that to your life, man, hey, you can be rooted like a tree, man. Right? So you got to understand that it's going to be hard in this truth. The walk is tough. Sometimes it might feel lonely, right? Sometimes it might feel like, you can't never win for losing, man. But hey, at the end of the day, the Lord said, if you lose your life, you will find it, man. So don't be afraid to lose everything, man, in order to gain Christ. Right? Matter of fact, let me get this precept while it's in my mind, man. Right, in Philippians. Right, this the book of Philippians. Right? Let me get this real quick. This is the book of Philippians, chapter 3 and verse number, I'm going to start at verse number 7. And it reads, but what things were gained to me, those I counted loss for Christ. Yea, doubtless, and I counted all things but loss for the excellency of knowledge of Mashiach Yahushua, my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things, and do count them but dung, that I may win Christ. And that's what your spirit needs to lean towards, man. Count everything in this world but a pile of hot steaming dung, man. That's what the Lord said, man. Everything is vanity. It's vanity upon vanity. Solomon used to always say, man, in Ecclesiastes, man, all this stuff is vanity, man. Everything. The labor in this world, man, everything you have, your cars, your money, your houses, your clothes, whatever it is, it's vanity, man. It means nothing. Right? You can count all those things lost to gain the Lord, man. Right? Exactly, King. See that? Through the Spirit, man. It's all vanity, man. So you got to understand that, look, you're going to be persecuted for the Lord, man. You're going to be talked down to, man. You're going to be clowned, whatever it is, man. But you got to stand 10 toes down for the Lord, man. Right? Let me get this precept real quick. 1 Corinthians, right? 1 Corinthians chapter 4. And I'm going to start at verse number, I'm going to start at verse 12. And it says, and labor working with our hands, and labor working with our own hands, being reviled, we bless. Being persecuted, we suffer it. Being defamed, we entreat. We are made as the filth of the world, and we are the offscoring of all things unto this day. So we get persecuted, we suffer that thing, man. We take joy in these things, man. We laugh when they talk down on us, man. We look the other way when they scoffing. All we say is, well, every idle word, hey, man, the Lord hear that, man. And you're going to have to answer for that. For speaking against, you speaking against his prophets, man. You speaking against the women of the Lord. And the Lord said in that day, man, it ain't going to be no laughing matter. Right? Matter of fact, let me get this real quick. What's that? 1 Chronicles, man. Or 2 Chronicles, rather. I believe it's 2 Chronicles chapter 16. Right? Or 36, rather. 2 Chronicles chapter 36, verse 16. I believe. Right? It's the book of 2nd Chronicles, chapter 36 and verse number 16. It says, but they mocked the messengers of Yahweh and despised his words and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy. And that's what's coming to a lot of these scoffers when they speak and they talk wicked against the Lord's people, man. Right? And the Lord said he's only choosing a few, man. He's only choosing a few. Do you want to be of that number? That's what you have to ask yourself. Are you really wanting to come to serve the Lord, man? So you got to understand, this thing is not easy, but you have to glory in tribulation and allow your patience to grow and develop in this walk, man. Right? Let's get another one. Let's get one more. This is the book of Romans, chapter 5 and verse number 3. And it says, and not only so, but we glory in tribulations also, knowing that tribulation worketh patience, and patience experience, and experience hope. So we hope for the salvation of the Most High, man. We hope that we're forgiven for all our iniquities. We hope that the Lord is going to come get us and beam us up, man, and get us out of here soon, man. That's why we do this thing, because we glory in hope. So you got to choose whether you're going to serve this world or you're going to stand 10 toes down and serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. Right? Let's get this last precept. The classic, the book of Joshua. Right? This is the book of Joshua, chapter 24 and verse 15. And it reads, and if it seems evil unto you to serve the Lord. So if it starts to get hard, if this walk starts to get burdensome, right? If it starts to get, wicked to you, and you start to look at the world and you start to miss it, man, you got to evaluate yourself, man. And you got to make that choice. Right? So it says, and if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land ye dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, man. But with that, I hope it's edifying. You take these precepts and apply them to your life, man. And know the Lord is watching. Shalom.